The Cursed Cemetery, a tale of undead terror and the power of light. Samantha had heard the rumors about the old cemetery on the outskirts of town, but she never believed them. That is until one night when she found herself lost in the winding path between the graves. At first she thought it was just her imagination when she heard a shuffling noise behind her. She turned around and she saw them, the undead, rising from their graves and stumbling towards her. She froze in fear, unable to move as they closed in on her. It wasn't until she saw their faces up close that she realized what had happened. These weren't your typical zombies infected by some kind of virus. No, these were the undead caused by a more unique problem: a cursed burial ground. With no time to spare, Samantha ran as fast as she could, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel their cold breath on her neck as they closed in, their moans filling the air. Just as she thought she was done for, Samantha spotted the fence surrounding the cemetery. With a burst of adrenaline, she leapt over it and tumbled onto the other side. Panting and shaking, she looked back at the undead who were now trapped behind the fence. Samantha knew she had to warn others about the cursed cemetery, but for now she was just glad to be alive. However, as she turned to leave, Samantha felt a cold hand on her shoulder. She turned around to find herself face to face with a skeletal figure, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. Samantha screamed and tried to run, but the figure held her tight. It spoke to her in a voice that sounded like something from beyond the grave. "You cannot leave," it said. "You have trespassed on our land, and now you must pay the price." Samantha felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that she was trapped. She tried to struggle, but the figure held her in an iron grip. As she watched in horror, more and more undead rose from their graves, drawn to the cursed cemetery by Samantha's presence. She thought she was doomed. But just as she was about to give up hope, Samantha remembered something her grandmother had told her. "If you're ever in trouble," she had said, "just say the words, 'I invoke the power of the light,' and the darkness will flee." With a surge of courage, Samantha closed her eyes and spoke the words. A blinding light filled the cemetery, and the undead shrieked in terror as they were banished back to their graves. Samantha stumbled away from the cemetery, shaken but alive. She knew that she would never forget the terror she had just experienced, but she also knew that she had the power to fight back against the darkness, as we all do. I hope you enjoyed this short story that I wrote a few years back. And if you like my content, please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Have a great evening.